Jumping off the dock. Whee!
Whee!
Hey, Maniacs.
Hey, Midsomer Maniacs.
Yeah, baby.
Midsomer Maniacs is a comedy recap podcast dedicated to midsummer murders. Each week, we dig into an episode of the show, including the murders, the mayhem, the loonies, and everything else we love this week.
Season 25, episode 1.
The Treasures of Darkness.
New episodes.
Episode 141. Who has 141 episodes?
We do.
We do. This is episode 255.
But it's 141 Midsummers. This is a spoiler podcast. We are going to talk about who the killer is.
So this is a new episode.
If you have not watched it, stop right now.
Yep. Go.
We are going to
back.
ruin it.
We will ruin it.
And you will be upset with us. You shouldn't be upset because we're telling you right now.
Yes.
We're going to talk about who did it.
Yes. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
Well, we're back.
If you're
2
new,
years.
welcome.
Yes. So if you only listen to the Midsummer episodes, welcome back.
Welcome back.
You should listen to the other episodes, but I won't guilt you about that.
I'm doing Welcome Back, Cotter.
Oh, we got lots of songs to reference in this episode.
You got to be really old to get that reference.
Yes.
I'm too young to understand the joke I just made. Yes.
So this is our first episode of 2026. In 2025, we had, how many episodes do you think we had?
1 gazillion.
1 gazillion. That's not a real number, Sarah.
I don't know.
33 episodes and 10 minis. December and May were our big months because we had minis in both of those months. And I just want to reiterate, especially to new people or returning people, that we have a mailing list that is in the show notes. We have all the social medias, including a Reddit for both Midsomer and Mystery Maniacs, and Instagram and Blue Sky and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So come join the community if you haven't already.
Yep.
We have a lot of fun. Lots of cool people like this stuff.
Yes.
You will be among other cool people.
So the original air date of this episode was
Last week?
the 8th of December, 2025. It's less than a month ago. Directed by Paul Gibson and written by Julia Gilbert. We begin on the river's edge.
It's not a river.
Yes.
It's a brook.
It's certainly not a canal.
Before we dive in, rate this on 0 to 10 as a midsummer episode.
As a midsummer episode.
Give me a rating.
Okay. I think it has a solid plot. It has danger. It has characterization of difficulties in the past and trauma and all sorts of interesting things. But the first murder is really tough for me to buy into. So I'm going to say a solid 7.
I was going to say 7, between 7 and 8 somewhere. Yeah.
There are better episodes in the season that we will get to, but this is a solid 7.
It is. And that's as a midsummer.
Yep.
Like as mystery TV, obviously it's like a 10 because it's midsummer.
It's midsummer.
Duh. So we've got mudlarkers and magnet fishermen.
But they're both referred to as mudlarkers.
Which they shouldn't be.
No.
Mudlarking is interesting. 99.9% of mudlarking happens on the Thames.
Yes.
Because it's a tidal waterway, which means the tide goes out and reveals part of the bank that isn't normally revealed, and you can find stuff there. Since the Thames runs through London, and London is one of the oldest cities in the world, there's all kinds of things there. Now,
you learned about mudlarking that happens in the Great Lakes this week.
I did, because one of my issues was I don't know why they're mudlarking on a non-tidal waterway.
Yes.
It doesn't, the water doesn't, if anything, they mention that the water level is up.
Yes.
Which means it would be harder to find things, I would think.
Very hard to find things.
So I thought, how can you mudlark somewhere that's non-tidal? Because the water doesn't go out to reveal part of the bank that you wouldn't normally get to and where you could find things.
It almost would be better if you took a giant magnet and dragged it along the bottom.
So what you're talking about, though, is a weird phenomenon that just happened last week.
Yes.
And it's called a seiche.
Yes.
Which is a term I had never heard.
I had never heard of it either.
Though the news made it sound like an everyday word. It's Seiche. Seiche.
I need to ask my brother about this now.
And what it is, in very rough, probably incorrect terms, is when it's really cold and the wind is really strong on a large body of water, like Lake Superior, where it happened last week, the wind actually pushes the water in one direction. And in this case, it pushed it east. And that made basically the tide go out on the western banks of Lake Superior by almost half a mile.
So you could find all sorts of interesting
People were
things.
finding cars and skidoos and snowmobiles and old docks that they didn't know were there.
Yeah.
No bodies or anything like that. Nothing interesting.
No.
But metal detectorists were out there finding all kinds of stuff.
I can only imagine.
But it was cold.
Oh, yeah. So my brother lives on Lake Superior, and I will ask him.
He will know what a seiche is, I'm sure.
Hopefully.
So there's two groups, right? There's the Mudlarkers, which is Johnny, Richard, Reverend William, and his wife Alice.
Yes.
And then there are the Magneteers.
Yes.
Rufus, Gemma, and Freddie, and Cole.
And I just want to say off the top, I am really pleased about the pub owners in this episode appearing like real people.
You mean like their physical appearance is like real people? Like they're not pretty people?
They're not pretty people.
Her outfit is the highlight of the episode. Her clothing Gemma's clothing is just off the charts.
Now,
whoever does the wardrobe for this season knocked it out of the park.
Now, you're going to be completely surprised. The actress who plays Gemma is named Jade Adam.
Okay.
And she is a comedian and has done lots of comedy stuff. And we will see her on Taskmaster, I'm betting.
The fact that she wears triple leopard.
Yeah.
Not just double leopard, but triple leopard
in
some scenes. I'm like, you go, girl. There's like a class difference, though, I think.
Yes.
The Mudlarkers are like Tweety and in Waders.
Yes.
And the Magneteers have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
And
wow, they really look down on the YouTubers.
Wear triple leopard.
By the way, you can visit our YouTube channel. It's in the show notes.
Gemma and Freddie run the pub.
Yes.
And just leave the pub.
And then there's, who else is in the Mudlarkers? There's the hoarder and the ne'er-do-well who lives in a caravan.
Oh, no, that's the Magneteers.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Yeah. The hoarder who used to be Rufus, who used to be a Mudlarker. And then there's Cole.
Yes.
He of the caravan. Cole's classy caravan.
He is, by definition, a likely lad.
Trouble. Trouble with a capital T.
Yep.
He steals lead from the church in the middle of the day. He's so dumb.
I love when the Reverend looks at him like, oh, come on.
Really? Are you that stupid? No wonder every church in England is constantly having a fundraiser for their roof. Cole's there, taking all the lead off of it, so the slates just fall off.
How much can you get for lead from a church roof?
Cole doesn't have a job.
Ain't got no job.
All he does is lurk around being creepy.
Tell you what, he's not making tea either.
No. I wouldn't eat anything he made in that caravan.
No, that's kind of a skeezy place. We have a couple of things to talk about the Magneteers versus the Mudlarkers. The Mudlarkers' problem with the Magneteers is they say their powerful magnets are affecting the environment.
The ecology.
Yeah. Which,
if somebody knows why that's harmful, let us know. I mean, it certainly disturbs the bottom of the waterway, I guess. But by and large, they're fetching trash out of it.
They're like,
because ferrous metal does not belong. You know, it's like bicycles and shopping carts and stuff.
When they pull the shopping cart out of the brook, that is a right thing to do.
They're doing a good thing.
Yeah.
Now, when they just leave it on the side of the bank and walk away.
They should probably pick that up.
That they do with the bike.
Yeah.
Like rusty old thing, whatever. In the Mudlarkers, we have Johnny. I don't know what Johnny does for a living. Do you know?
He has a very nice house, but I don't know what he does for a living.
I don't think they mention like his day job. Richard, who is the well-to-do man about town.
He's like the local town historian kind of thing.
I guess. He doesn't seem to have a day job either.
No.
Except for being kind of rude to his family.
Yep.
And maintaining the reputation of his multi-generational wealth,
Yes, I guess. Though we don't know how he got it.
No, because his grandfather was a reverend.
Yeah.
Like, ministers don't make that much money.
No.
But he was a bad guy.
He was a bad guy.
So maybe he was doing something nefarious on the side.
Bad guy.
And then we've got Reverend William and his wife, Alice.
Yes.
She of the padded jacket.
Now,
she wears that vest the whole episode.
She does indeed. We've seen Reverend William before. He's played by Adrian Rollins, who's been in 2 other episodes.
He murdered the brides in the bathtub.
He murdered the brides in the bathtub. And in addition to that, he was in Tainted Fruit.
They are ripened by their own corruption.
Yes, he plays one of the ne'er-do-wells in Ripened Fruit. Tainted Fruit.
Joyce makes the jam.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, a familiar face there. The Mudlarkers are going on about finding pilgrim badges.
Yes. I've become more aware of English geography than I used to be. So, in Midsomer understanding, they are expected to be in the central part of the country.
Near Oxford.
Yes. That is what it's expected. Not in Oxford,
no,
but near Oxford, in the county of Oxfordshire.
Mm.
Now, these are from...
Well, they're in Midsomer County, which is near Oxfordshire.
Yeah. These baubles, these badges, are incredibly rare.
You got to collect them all.
You got to collect... It's the Pokemon
of the Middle Ages.
Catholic Church.
More like Pogs.
Yeah, it's a bit more like
because you can't really do anything with them.
No, but there are 2 of the
baseball cards.
2 parts of this, right? There's the badge that you get, and there is the apula.
An ampula is a badge that holds holy water.
Yes. Now, both of these, and they completely gloss over this.
Oh, yeah.
Both of these are only attained by giving money to the church.
Lots of money.
In which you then get the Poke badge.
Yes.
And you get a little bit of time off in these are
purgatory
indulgences.
So in the Canterbury Tales, the pilgrims are going to Canterbury, and they frequently mention getting badges.
Yep.
Like the wife of Bath, that's one of her goals.
Yes.
Because she's led a naughty life.
Yes.
And she's going to donate some money at Canterbury to get some time off in purgatory. Like, that's kind of the goal, right?
So I think the idea that they're saying here is that because they're coming from the middle of the country, and they would probably have to pass through London, which is in the southeastern part of the country, and then go to Kent, where Canterbury is. I know far too much Kent geography now. That you would travel via waterway to do this. I think that's what they're implying.
Yeah, or that waterways were common routes, like you would follow a river.
Yeah.
Because it would be an easy way to get where you're going, even if you didn't have a boat. It's like a highway.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a trail, basically. Talking about, that ampula alone, it belongs in the museum. They're that rare.
They're both listed as, in British Museum, just the existence of these things mean they go to the British Museum.
A Thomas Becket badge would immediately go to the museum.
They would be national news if they found them.
Yes. What should be national news is that Wiccan jar.
Okay, so what they find on the side of...
Wait a minute. Johnny finds it basically sitting in the mud.
Yes.
I guess we're supposed to think that because the water has been high, it's like kind of washed away.
Raised it up?
Whatever.
Maybe?
They tell a story about how they're commonly found near waterways.
Yes.
But let's just be clear. These things don't exist. And all these people should be freaking out.
Yes.
That stupid Johnny, first uncorks it.
He touches it. He touches it.
Dumb. I understand touching it because it could be anything.
Yeah.
I get that. But uncorking it is stupid.
No.
Then he drops it like a Butterfinger.
No.
It has a shrunken head in it. And nobody goes, ah! Like, I would probably throw up. Can you imagine the smell?
Oh.
The smell alone.
Absolutely.
It's juicy.
If only we had,
in there.
If only we had an expert. Oh, wait. We do.
We asked as a bonus, watch like a maniac question in the mini, how would you go about making one of these Wiccan jars? Because it seems physically impossible.
And longtime show listener, Nocturnal Druid.
Thank you.
Who is a fantastic human being, returned to us, first of all, saying, they're calling it a Wiccan jar bothered me because it's not Wicca, which was created by Gerald Gardner in the 50s. So it would be a little later than the 17th century.
A little.
And a witch's jar is a protection spell that's been around for ages, but usually can just consist of jars packed with sharp things like nails, various herbs, and often urine, the maker's own. They are frequently buried in the corners of property to act as wards. He has no idea what this is, why it's there, or what it's supposed to be.
I looked into shrunken heads and where they were produced because they're real. Unfortunately, they're real. They're bad things.
Yeah. They're people's heads.
A person's head that has been decapitated and then the skull and brain removed, basically making a head sack.
A head sack.
That's filled with like hot sand to shrink it and dry it out.
Yes.
And
this is not dinner talk.
They were trophies, basically.
Yeah, they were headhunter trophies.
Yeah. But okay, let's just pretend for a second that anybody in England ever made one.
Yes.
Which they didn't.
Yes.
Okay. It's not a thing
there.
It was never culturally a thing there. But let's just say for a second that they did in the 17th century. So this is the 1600s. So you've got, I don't know, it's post-Elizabeth.
Yep.
People just wandering around shrinking heads and putting them into clay jars. Now, this jar is like, it's withstood water for all this time. So it's clearly a fired jar.
Yep. It has to be fired.
Which do you think is hotter, a pottery kiln or a cremation oven?
I would think a pottery kiln was probably hotter.
It is.
Yeah.
So if you put that thing in a kiln of any kind, enough to turn that clay into pottery, that head would be dust.
And the opening is not nearly enough for you to get like, okay, you get your shrunken head and then you got to get it inside. So you get like a pokey bit, like your finger and you're poking.
Or like a chopstick.
Or chopstick and you're poking it down inside. You couldn't get it in that opening. It's not like a ship in a bottle.
It's like when you're trying to put the drawstring back in your shorts.
It's a head in a bottle.
Well, I don't know. If it's a head sack, you empty it out. Maybe it is kind of squishy if you squeeze it. But I don't think so.
I think production got maybe an incomplete brief here.
My problem is just that nobody is shocked. They should be freaking out.
They should all be freaking out.
And then Richard puts it on a shelf in his beautiful front room. It's got to stink. I don't care how cured it is.
It has
if
to
it was
stink.
tanned leather, it would stink after being closed up and in water for that long.
Well, and I love how he's like, well, I'm going to report this, but until I do that, I'm going to
display it on my beautiful shelves.
Shelf.
Those shelves are amazing.
Yes.
Did you look at the shelves?
Yes.
They're really beautiful wood shelves.
I have in my notes, welcome to my father's gorgeous home and my museum.
Yes. You contrast his gallery to Rufus's basement gallery. It's a bit different.
Yes.
Then Johnny finds a memento mori Xerox on his front door.
Yeah, I was wondering who sent those, and that Rufus sends them.
Yes, Rufus does. And he's just trying to put him off.
Yes.
Then Johnny gets a call from a phone box.
Yes.
It's Alice saying that she knows there's a Beckett badge in the river and where it is, and he should go and look at it.
At night.
It's 6:23 according to his phone when he gets the call. But it's dark.
It's very close to being dark. And what you need to find things on the river's edge is light.
There is no reason to go mudlarking in the dark.
No.
Unless you're doing it illegally.
And she didn't know exactly where the sinkhole was. And death by sinkhole it's a stretch.
Considering the bank is kind of in arm's reach
Yeah, and he had to get in the water at the exact right spot while she sneaked behind him. She didn't push him in.
She doesn't push him. She doesn't hold him under. Nothing. No. And the way they know that there's a sinkhole there is that the farmer who owns the land says he's lost a sheep or two to it.
Yeah.
What are his sheep doing? Jumping off the dock? Whee! Speaking of sheep, if you haven't seen the trailer for the new Hugh Jackman movie with the sheep,
Dougie,
go find it and watch it.
Go find it and watch it.
I don't care how good the movie is. That trailer is awesome.
It is.
It's crime-solving sheep.
It's crime-solving sheep. And not as far-fetched as that sounds.
No, it's sweet.
Yeah.
But going back at night is just pointless.
Yeah, and like I would have liked to seen her like creep up and put a hand on his head. Mm-hmm. That alone would make it better.
I don't think this is a murder.
No, I don't. It is a terrible accident that she arranged.
Luckily. That she encouraged him to put himself in danger, but he did it willingly. He did it.
And he would have went, oh, okay, well, I'll go look tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. He was going to be there in the morning anyway.
Yes. For the blessing of the river.
Well, then she finds him.
Yes. I'm not sure how sinkholes work, but I don't think they work like this, where they keep you sunk.
They're very unstable. It's an air pocket that when you step in it, you push through the mud that's on the top and into the air pocket. It's like quicksand.
Yeah. And it wouldn't keep you overnight.
Oh, it would keep you overnight. You're my guest now overnight.
I want to hug you and kiss you.
I think if you've got rubber waders on, they might create a good seal for the mud once you sunk, I guess.
The other thing is...
But how big is the sinkhole? It's already eaten sheep. It would be full.
Yes, it would be a full sinkhole.
I don't need you, Jenny.
Looking at this brook, I do not feel... He's a tall dude.
Yeah.
It has to be over 7 feet.
Yeah.
Down.
It's very deep. I don't
think that water is that deep.
And it goes from you can stand in it to suck you under, kill you.
Yes.
In a step.
Yeah. So
I just don't think it's a murder.
We find the body during the blessing of the river as they sing, "Shall We Gather at the River," which is a long time known Anglican hymn.
Okay.
And then in the crowd at the blessing, we see Mick from Time Team. Not actually Mick from Time Team.
Because he's passed away. But if you've ever watched Time Team, he's an older guy in glasses with very crazy white hair, curly, crazy white hair, bald on top. And he is known for wearing these iconic, wild colored, stripy sweaters. And there's a guy in the crowd who looks just like him. I was like, it's Mick. How can he be there? Alice is conveniently the one standing on the dock, throwing the petals into the water so she can find the body. It's a good shot, though, of him under the water.
Yeah, it is.
How do you think they did that?
I would assume, well, if it's him, the actor.
Do you think there's a chance it's the actor? I don't.
I don't think it is. I think it's a body double, an inanimate object.
A dummy.
Yes.
I think it's a dummy, and it's only the waist up of a dummy.
Yeah. And because that water is...
it's like 5 feet deep. I think they've stuck it in the mud.
Yes.
If anything, if it's not just CGI, I guess it could just be fake.
It could be, but...
It's good if it is.
It is.
So now Barnaby's on the case.
Yes.
Though the dog keeps digging things up. There's an easy solution to that problem. Shut the door.
Yes. There's a very easy solution.
Leave Patty outside in the mud or don't let him go outside.
Yes.
That's easy. Done.
Easy peasy. 2 things about the Barnabys. 1, Betty makes an appearance here. Betty is now, I would say, a young teenager.
12, 13.
12, 13.
Yeah.
Has personality, moving on into the acting world.
Knows her dad's full of crap.
Yep. The other thing that's full of crap is, does Sarah have a job now?
I don't know. It's June.
Yeah.
So I don't know why Betty's doing homework, but that explains why Sarah's not at work.
But Sarah's not in school because she should be running the joint by now. But instead, she has an interaction with the red herring subplot. Hello, this is Mark in red herring subplot land. There's a famous actress who's going on one of those ancestry shows.
Oh, it smells fishy over here in red herring corner.
And she wants to find out about her lost and missing mom.
No, aunt.
Aunt, sorry.
Yeah.
And so Sarah Barnaby is going to help with that in a church.
She has been the president of the local historical society in the past.
Definitely.
So she would be a good person to contact, I suppose. Though all she appears to do is look up newspaper clippings.
Yes. Like the research, like he says, I definitely clocked this. He says, I'll get my team to look into that.
And by he, you mean Dan Pesey, the researcher from past times.
Yes.
With the orange and black business card.
If he has a team, they don't need Sarah.
No, they don't need her. She's not even local.
Like, I understand if he is the head of the research team and the famous actress lady is going investigating. Like, he would go with her. I get that. Mm-hmm. No one recognizes this lady.
No.
There's no investigation or exploration of her fame at all.
There's no people on the street going, oh my gosh, is that Lucy?
Oh, I remember seeing you on blah, blah, blah. No.
And he's just made out to be a very pushy, skeezy guy.
But they're total red herring.
Yeah, absolutely. The only reason she's engaged in this whole project is that her mother ran away from her family, got away from her family.
Yes.
And so she doesn't know much about her extended family, except to know that her mother's sister, Jessica, went missing after her mother already left.
And she goes to talk to her uncle about it.
Yeah.
And he says
who happens to be Richard, he of the expensive house. Yeah. He keeps Jessica's leaving letter in a drawer by the door.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you keep it in a trunk somewhere?
He has a museum.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, a scrapbook? A safe?
I don't know.
What I do know is that the newspaper 30 years ago, when Jessica left, is perhaps the most insensitive newspaper I've ever seen.
The worst headline of all time.
It's the Hollybrook Herald.
Yep.
With a picture of Jessica and her bike with the headline, "The Second Going."
Yes, because her mother is left and now her aunt is left.
I guess it's a play on the second coming.
I guess.
Which is the second coming of Christ.
I guess.
So they're like, she's the opposite. Like, is she a devil? I don't know. Like, what? Come on. I know it's a small time newspaper, but come on.
We will put a picture of the newspaper in the show notes because it is also a bit rinky dink.
It also has headline the government to set up 10 city colleges in UK.
Yes.
Which they do on a regular
basis. So.
Let's talk about the pub.
Oh, before we get to the pub, let's talk about his museum and what he says he's going to do. So
Richard?
Yes. Because Barnaby shows up to get rid of the actress. So he says he's going to go to the portable antiquities scheme and report this find, which is exactly what he should do.
Yep.
Not put it in his museum.
Nope. He should keep it safe until they come to look at it, or he can take it to them.
And that is finds.org.uk.
Yep. It's a real thing. You're really supposed to do that.
On this website,
if you find a hoard, it has to have 3 coins or more, right?
Yes.
To make it a hoard. If you find 2 coins, 2 gold coins, no big deal.
Yep.
If you find 3, you got to report it. It's a hoard.
Yep. It tells you all that. Tells you what research is in progress. It's from the British Museum.
Yes.
Right? On this page is a tiny video. I don't know why it's so tiny. But it is full of familiar faces. So this video is called Code of Practice. Okay. I'm going to link to the YouTube where the video is.
So it's a video created by the historical UK.
Yes.
To tell people about what they're supposed to do if they find something.
Yes. And they did absolutely the right thing.
Okay.
So what they did was they said, who should we have in this video? And to make it legitimate and authentic. So it starts with the woman who is the head of the Detectorist Society of England.
Okay.
Like that is a good beginning.
Yeah.
Then right into that, after that, Dan Snow, right away.
History hit guy.
Then Helen Geeky.
Who's on Time Team.
Marianne Ochoda, who was on Time Team the last couple of series. And then Carenza shows up at the end.
Oh.
From Time Team.
The lady I call Credenza.
Yes. It's Carenza Lewis. It's all Time Team. Like,
I always call her Credenza, so I didn't even recognize her real name.
Like, it's all the legitimate people from Time Team.
Yeah. And Dan Snow and the Detectress.
Yep.
Society lady. That's smart.
Yeah. It is a video. If you know who it is, you're like, but
we're a special kind of nerd.
We are a special kind of nerd.
Like, you just went through something that maybe 5 listeners will understand. Yes. I'm just saying. The rest of them are going, what? There's a lady named Credenza and another lady named Geeky? Yes.
So I saved this video I did not show you this video purposely so I could reveal who was in it, but we will watch it on the couch tonight. It's 10 minutes. It's brilliant.
Okay.
But it tells you all the things that you need to know. It's a very good instructional video.
Good. So. I'm sorry that it's so small on their website. Now, can we talk about the pub?
Yes.
The Spotted Trout?
The Spotted Trout, which is the answer to one of our Watch Like a Maniacs questions.
We said, why is there a fish in the pub? There's actually several fish in the pub, and it's because the pub is called the Spotted Trout.
Yes.
Run by Gemma and Freddie.
We also see in the pub the Midsomer Magneteers merchandise, which the entire merchandise store includes mugs, jackets, hoodies, soft shell coats, and they also have what are called badges in England, which are button.
A button, not a patch.
No, they have badges.
They have 5,000 followers on PicSnap, which is the YouTube, and 1,200 views in their most recent video.
Yes, by the way, watch and subscribe, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel.
I think it's funny that they have it up on a screen in the pub.
Yes.
But the fluorescent orange color, it's not good.
No, there is a weird picture in the pub. I want to get to the weird picture in the pub and then the Magneteers logo.
Okay. So
the weird picture in the pub is of somebody's dirty hands on above mud, right? Okay. So it's like they found something in the mud.
Okay.
But what it is the wheels and an axle off of like a toy car.
Okay.
It's very strange.
Look, take a picture. Look what I found, a Hot Wheels axle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird. I'll put it in the show notes.
Their logo has a badger on it.
And a big magnet. That is chef's kiss.
It's great. I would gladly wear a Midsomer Magneteers t-shirt with that logo on
absolutely.
it. That was another one of our Watch Like a Maniac questions.
Soft shell jacket costs how much?
18 pounds.
18 pounds.
The pub is nice. It's well run. It's got pretty flowers out front. It's got tables outside.
It's a pub and an inn.
It's clean.
Yep.
Lucy's staying at the inn.
Yep.
So is Dan Pesey.
Yes.
That's his name. Gemma and Freddie are definitely characters.
Yes. They're up to no good. So they're selling things that they found without declaring them.
Right.
Both to either the tax man or the scheme.
Yeah, they haven't reported them either place, but they happen to be selling them to undercover detectives from the Portable Antiquity Scheme.
Yes.
The Heritage Crime Unit.
Which is the unit that the art detective is from, which is also an Acorn. So I know there are a number of people who said, oh, this is a crossover now. No, it's not a crossover.
Midsomer shouldn't be tainted by that bad show.
Sarah doesn't like art detectives. I found it not great.
It's just dumb. The premise is dumb.
Yeah.
This crime has a painting involved, so this guy gets to solve it even though it's a murder? No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Never mind. He wears that rag around his neck all the time. It looks like it's choking him. It bothers me.
You don't like him.
Barnaby and Winter still have windmills on their desks.
They do?
They are the only ones who have windmills on their desks.
There's a number of recycle bins in this
They're
office.
everywhere.
They're everywhere. And now they have switched the murder board to a blackboard with chalk on it.
Yeah. instead of the clear glass one that was always hard to read.
Yes.
Though one of them still has good handwriting.
Yes.
How about the Rev's house?
So the Rev's house has two things that are interesting. One, boy, she is a huge kind of like art shop in the back. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Those two are the only people who have jobs.
Yes.
He's a reverend and she's an artist.
Yep.
Though I don't know what kind of art she makes.
She makes art out of the found things they find on the river.
That she boils in ammonia.
Wouldn't
you do that outside?
I would do that outside.
If you did it at all?
For the very reason that they talk about.
I mean, Freddie just hoses things off with a hose.
Yes.
She boils them in ammonia.
So one of the questions we asked of How to Watch Like a Maniac was, what do the Gideons serve their guests?
Which is a reference to the fact that on the coffee table between the two sofas in their front room,
which is their conversation nook,
is a tray of rocks.
A tray of rocks.
Where you would normally have like a tea tray.
Yes.
Or a tray that you would put your drinks on.
There was no room to even put a tea tray or a drink down.
It's just rocks.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would have a tray of rocks.
Rocks don't make good coasters either.
No, you can't put a drink on a rock. But they're not even pretty rocks. I don't know what they're supposed to be.
I did notice the books in that room, because that's the only room we see. We see the art workshop and we see that room. All the books are real books.
Her art workshop is just full of weirdness.
Yeah.
She's got a big pink floor lamp and rags, like a wind chime outside. And I'm not guessing she's a successful artist.
No, I don't think so either.
Like, she keeps herself busy making things artist, is what I'm guessing.
The other thing I don't like about her house is...
She's the killer?
No. Is the housekeeper visit. So, getting back to the historian with his home museum.
Richard.
Yes. There is help for that house, because it's a huge house.
Mary.
We've seen the house before, though. Where have we seen the house before?
We've seen the house before in several episodes. It's a beautiful house. It has it's a brick house. It has a courtyard out front, and the entrance is kind of on a corner.
Yep.
Which is interesting. It was also in season 9, episode 2, Dead Letters.
Yes.
And it was in season 10, episode 5, Death and Dust.
It was Simon Callow's house in Dead Letters.
Yeah, he's the smoking doctor.
Yep.
He's so skeezy. He's so good at that.
He's so good.
I think it was in another episode as well.
I think so.
So if the listeners have identified a third past episode, let us know. I couldn't find it, but I feel like it was in another one.
So her mother worked for the family, and now
Mary.
She works for the family.
Yes.
And she is the last to have seen Jessie. Who's Jessie? Jessie is the missing aunt.
Yes.
Okay. And she told the cops that she saw Jessie getting on the train with her bike. Mm-hmm. And so then she shows up at the Reverend's house talking to him intensely and then just leaves. No one makes reference to it. No one says, hey, why did you go talk to the Reverend? Nothing.
She's just lucky that she's a housekeeper who doesn't find a body.
Yes.
Because that's what happens in Midsomer.
Most housekeepers find.
There's another weird thing about the Rev's house that we forgot to mention.
What?
And we'll post a picture of this. I'll put this out to the listeners because I could not solve it. When Winter and Barnaby are walking out and we see their beautiful front porch, there's like a shield-shaped thing hanging from their front porch that says Silver 25 System.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it means. It could be like a fire alarm or security or whatever, but I couldn't find any reference to it.
Silver 25 is usually anniversary.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. So if anybody finds it, let us know.
In contrast to their house is the hoarder's house.
Rufus.
Which is an excellent, like the outside of that house looks like a hoarder's house.
Well, Midsomer has done it before.
Yes.
Remember the old couple who, she even died from a pile of newspaper landing on her.
And the inside of the house looks good. And he dies, the hoarder dies. And what I actually liked about this episode and why it gets, one of the reasons it gets a 7 is Winter does deduction. He says, this person said that he was down in his gallery when he found something. Mm-hmm. And they look around and they can't find a basement. And Winters is like, there has to be some way down, and figures out that the door is hidden and they get down into the basement.
Yes.
Like, That's actual deduction.
Rufus lives in his kitchen.
Yes, he does.
Which is not unusual for a hoarder to have the one room that they actually function in.
Yes.
Though his kitchen is not functional.
No.
Though it does have a surplus of appliances.
Yes. How many fridges does it have, Sarah?
At least 2.
I counted 3, actually.
And a blue aga.
Yes.
And pheasants.
Yeah. So there is the pheasants hanging above the sink. And when they first look in the window, you get the foley of flies.
Yes. Well, there's a bike in front of the sink, too.
Yes.
Hunters hang pheasants like this. The explanation doesn't convince me of anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So the explanation for hanging them, unplucked and ungutted, by the way, for 3 to 10 days is to enrich the flavor of the meat.
No.
Which I'm guessing it makes it gamier.
I would think so. Have you ever had pheasant?
No.
I've never had pheasant.
Especially pheasant that's been hanging in Rufus's
aged
kitchen.
Pheasant.
It's supposed to be hung for 3 to 10 days in a space that is around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So rather cold, not frozen, but cool. Slightly warmer than a refrigerator. Not your kitchen.
No.
Where you have an aga putting heat out.
No.
He should have died in a fire a long time ago.
Should have died in a fire a long time ago.
It's sad that he lives that way. Nobody should live that way.
So the reason why he dies is because they've pulled a bike from the brook.
Mm-hmm.
And my immediate feeling, because they all say it's
Jessica's bike.
And I said, I wish that I had Jesse's bike.
I wish that I had Jesse's bike. Da-na-na-na-na-na. How can I find a bicycle like that?
And in Jesse's bike,
I want plaid panniers like that.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. You sprung it on me. I didn't have time.
Yep.
That's the best I can do.
So in Jesse's bike, he finds
the necklace.
And the necklace is the thing that starts to unravel everything.
Well, it's proof that the bike was Jessica's bike.
Yep.
And it's because she took the necklace off of Alice.
Yes.
It's proof that she didn't take the bike on the train the way Mary claims she did.
Yes.
It's basically proof that she never left the village.
Yes. And that she's probably in the wood, in the river somewhere.
But
that's not how water death works. But I don't want to go into water death because it's gross.
Let's not. We've already talked about shrunken heads and juicy jars. Fleur is fantastic. And
she shows up with the helmet on.
She's fantastic.
With no reference to why she has a helmet.
But she's got a tablet.
Yeah.
So she's in the kitchen figuring out Rufus's death. Because he has a heart condition. He has a pacemaker. It could have been natural causes.
Yep.
But she doesn't think that it was. The box is clearly collapsed on him. But she's done the math.
Yep.
To prove that somebody pushed the boxes onto him.
And Winter makes reference to the equations. Now, we will put in the show notes what is shown on this tablet. There are no equations shown on this tablet.
No.
It is a diagram of what happened.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not even that.
It's not even that.
It says structural inconsistencies?
Yes.
Question mark?
I guess.
Stack of boxes. Yeah. But then it says placement defect analysis.
Oh.
Do you know what a placement defect analysis is?
No, I do not.
It has nothing to do with boxes falling over, I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay.
A placement defect analysis is an analysis that you do when there are manufacturing errors in a plant. It usually is like if you have a factory with robot arms that are building things and they're doing like pick and place.
Yeah.
Right? So the arm grabs something from a bin and puts it into position. Let's say the bin is poorly loaded and half of the parts are turned around.
Yeah.
In the direction they're not supposed to be. So when the arm grabs it, it puts it on backwards and it has a quality assurance issue because of it. That is a placement defect analysis.
Okay.
It has absolutely nothing to do with boxes or falling or structural integrity.
I love the
It's
image.
often used in the examination of medical devices that go wrong.
I love the picture also has an arrow that goes to the number 200.
Yes. That's the answer, Mark. 200.
200. Aha.
That's code for Alice.
Oh, okay.
When they do look at Rufus's gallery, one of the things in the gallery is a big bottle of Glycyrrhosis BP.
Okay, what is that?
That is a topical antiseptic and medical moisturizer.
Oh.
It's borax and glycerin.
Okay.
It's like medicated Vaseline.
I guess. Why does he have it?
Because he found the bottle and it's got a cool label on it. Yeah. That's all.
Okay.
But it's not like poison or anything. It's a moisturizer that also clears wounds. But the man who found that bottle left all of his worldly goods to Freddie and Gemma so she can buy more leopard.
Why does he do that?
Because they understand him.
I guess. I can sort of guess that.
I think if you're that kind of person who hoards but also values small objects, that you want to hope that the person you leave everything to has a similar appreciation of those things and will understand why you kept those things.
I can see that.
I mean, he doesn't have anybody else. Who's he going to leave it to?
So now we have 2 bodies, which means we can return
Best Corpse.
To Best Corpse.
But we'll do that at the end.
Yes. And now that we have 2 bodies, we got a Midsomer case.
Yeah. Until 2 people have died, though one of them is not a murder. I'm sorry, it's not.
We then have the trope.
The trope, false confession.
The trope is...
I did it. I'm confessing to protect someone.
Purely by accident, he finds the necklace. He lost his key. Okay.
Okay.
So he's lost his key, and he's looking for her key, which would be in her little art drawers, I guess.
She keeps her keys with her paint.
And then he figures it out. Right?
Because this is the necklace that he gave Alice as an engagement present.
Yes.
When she was 17.
And it's been missing.
And because it was in Jessica's plaid pannier.
Yes.
Is it pannier? Pannier?
Yes. Pannier?
Saddlebag.
I wish that I had Jesse's saddlebag.
It was in the saddlebag.
Yes.
The plaid saddlebag.
Yes.
And so it's evidence that Alice and Jessica encountered one another and that Jessica did not leave the village. And that's where it went. He says, oh, well, I found the coin in the necklace. I found it mudlarking and I didn't report it. And I had it turned into a necklace for Alice. And Rufus was going to tell.
Yeah.
And that's a reason to kill somebody that 30 years ago you found a coin and didn't report it. I mean, they're pretty strict about that stuff, but it's like 3 months in prison and a fine.
Well, he knows.
At the worst. Like, it's not. No.
He knows.
Yeah.
And we find out that Alice has kind of a track record in this.
That she hit her foster mother over the head with a golf club.
Do you know where we last saw a golf club assault?
No.
In Brokenwood, remember?
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alice's parents didn't want her. They put her in foster care. The foster family didn't like her, so she hit one of them over the head with a golf club. And then she got sent back to the thinly veiled lesbian prison.
It's a convent school for bad girls.
Boy, they go all around not calling it lesbian prison, but
it's not gay prison.
But
that's why Jessica was there, though.
Wayward girls.
That's why Jessica was there, right? Because her family didn't approve of her.
I think her family didn't approve of her because she was the gay. And because she was the gay, she went to the lesbian prison. And there she met Alice. Mm-hmm. And they were together.
Mm-hmm.
But
they couldn't be together, Mark. Because they had to leave that little village behind. But Alice wasn't brave enough.
I understand all of that if it was happening in the 60s. Mm-hmm. But this would have been happening
in the 90s.
In the 90s.
They do get their clothes in the flashback perfect.
Like Bronski Beat would have been driving down the brook,
and saying, "Are you gay? Get in the van.
Get
Come
in
on.
the van.
Let's go to the city.
Let's go to the city.
Let's go hang out with the Clash. Come on."
I do realize it's not as easy as that, but it kind of had a 60s. Jessica, 50s feel to
Jessica
it.
Was independent and ready to go and I love you for who you are. I know about your history and I don't care. Let's do this. And Alice was too big of a wiener. She chose to marry the Rev instead and stay in the small village.
Yeah.
And kill. And hit her girlfriend on the back of the head with a padlock on a chain.
Yeah.
Wow.
She is a crazy person.
She has anger issues. At least
she admits it. She goes, no one would like the Alice who I truly am.
I guess she could have picked up the bike.
Because you're a serial killer.
She could have hit her with the bike, I guess.
I wish that I had Jesse's bike.
She's lucky those saddlebags didn't fill with air and float that bike. Boom, boom, boom.
Then she hides her dead girlfriend in the river for years.
Yeah, and just goes on with her life and puts on her little padded vest and acts like the Reverend's wife.
Yeah.
Arranging the flowers.
So the clue that shows up that says you need to leave town, actress lady.
This is the one good thing about Alice. She has excellent handwriting.
She does, but she should have sent it before her husband got arrested for the crime.
Yeah. The timing
because it
doesn't
kind of
work.
puts a hole in his situation.
Yeah. Well, and she leaves the threatening letter just on a table outside the pub.
Yes.
Hoping somebody will find it.
Who left this? Somebody.
I don't know.
That bridge is kind of interesting. The bridge where the big dramatic ending happens. The bridge that we never see in the rest of the episode.
It's beautiful. All of them are.
Yes.
It's an iron bridge.
It's 1802. It was designed by Thomas Wilson and is actually on the estate of Stratfield Say House, which is the resident of the Duke of Wellington.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, but it's in London. It's not.
It's nowhere near it.
No.
They're like, find us a good bridge.
Yep.
For the big kerfluffle. Before that, though, Alice attacks Lucy in her art studio.
Yes.
Because Lucy sees evidence of Alice's crime.
Yes. Which has been sitting in the studio for years.
Jessica stole jewelry from her family to fund her running away.
Yes.
Because her grandfather was a hypocritical reverend who I think was abusive. I think her father was abusive.
Yeah.
Richard admits that he defended the wrong person in the family, that he should have stood up for her and Hannah, and he didn't. And so Alice has the ring that Jessica stole.
That has the English and French well translated.
And so she puts it in a piece of art that is a lion evoking Leo, which is what Jessica called herself.
That she can stare at every day.
Psycho.
Like, how many other people has this woman killed?
What other evidence is in that art? I would be looking at every piece she ever made, the piece in the church, all the pieces in her studio.
This is my murder art.
Yes. Like, the moral of the story is don't integrate evidence of your crimes into your art. It would be like if I went out and killed people and then used their real skeletons as Halloween decorations.
Yeah.
And hope nobody noticed.
Yeah.
It's in plain sight, see?
Yeah. Barnaby has a jeweler's.
What is he doing with a jeweler's loop in his pocket?
Like, out of nowhere, he pulls it out. Like, Winter should be like, where did you get that?
A gold one, or it's either gold or brass. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I've got a Swiss Army knife that just happens to have a magnifying glass on it.
So she puts the ammonia on when the actress is in there knocked out because she gets the whammo.
Yeah.
And then, and I checked, they come back after they rescue the actress and it's off and everything. But none of the windows are open.
No, they didn't air it out.
Like, Winter must be like, oh, I'm feeling a little...
Everybody in there should be kind of, ooh.
Oh, I have a jeweler's loop now.
Look, I found a ring.
So there's a big confrontation at the bridge.
Alice admits everything.
What I liked was the Rev didn't come along and say, I forgive you.
No.
The Rev said, I don't know who you are.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
How many people have you killed in the time that we've been together?
Yeah.
You're horrible. You need help.
And we find out that Patty finds some jewelry and is a natural detective.
Okay. No, he's not.
No.
He's a thief.
No.
Everything he's bringing in is stuff that he's buried.
He buried all those things.
So he took the bracelet and buried it.
I don't think Betty took the bracelet and buried it.
Betty. When she was a newborn? Because
yes. It would be years ago. Yeah.
Sarah got the bracelet as a gift after Betty was born from Barnaby.
Yeah.
No, it's Patty. Patty steals stuff and then brings it back and goes, look.
Yeah.
Look what I found.
It's sort of like a fake confession.
Wah,
wah. Okay.
Best corpse?
Best corpse. So we have 2.5 corpses, right? We have the corpse in the river.
Wait a minute. Who's the half corpse? Jessica or,
I was
or Lucy?
going to get to that.
Because Lucy's not dead.
Yes. But Lucy's not dead, but she's knocked out. And Winters has to say her first.
But she's not a corpse.
But she's not a corpse.
So she doesn't count.
And then we have Jessie, who we never see her corpse, but we see that she gets the whammo on the bridge.
Okay, but this is not about best attack.
Okay, so we really have two corpses.
Yes.
We have the hoarder and...
we have Johnny and Rufus.
I'm
going with Johnny, even though I don't actually think that the actor is in the water for that shot. The way they set it up is so good. It looks like he's down there. I'm giving it to Johnny.
I totally agree. I love how we also... completely did not look into, either of us, whether or not you could use a magnet to turn a pacemaker off.
Oh, it doesn't turn it off, but it does upset it.
It does upset.
Yeah.
Well, same way a microwave what is he doing being a magneteer?
Well, he just doesn't put it on his chest. It's not hard.
Those things are like crazy powerful.
You just don't stick it to you. It's not like a pacemaker is magnetic. It's not like it's going to swing and suck onto his chest. It's like if you have a metal plate in your head, a magnet's not going to stick to it.
Don't talk about my metal plate.
I think he's safe, but that may be why he doesn't have a microwave.
Maybe.
He has so many refrigerators and no microwave.
He should put the pheasants in the refrigerator.
You said that kind of creepy. It puts the pheasants in the refrigerator. Yes. After the credits?
So, okay. The pub owners are going up the river.
I don't think they are. I think they're going to get a slap on the
wrist.
Get
a fine or something?
Yeah.
Okay. She's going to loony jail.
Alice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Rev he's got a tough row to hoe.
He's going to need some therapy, probably.
Along with the historian and his housekeeper, they need to talk.
I think that Richard and Lucy need to talk.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because all the reasons why he didn't want to talk to her, he has now let go.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a bad family to protect anymore. He needs to be honest with her. The show does not get made.
I don't know. I think the show's going to be the best show ever. While investigating this, we've discovered a murder. They're going to be all over that.
Yeah, but I think that Lucy and Richard are going to be like, no, we're not participating in that.
Yeah.
That was a tragedy.
I think so.
And that's not what we're here for. So I think the show doesn't get made. Now, they may want to, and they may make a different show, but not Lucy's family history.
Yeah.
So Sarah doesn't get to be on TV, even though she does look fantastic in that white jacket.
She does.
Not many people could pull that look off, and she does.
She does. Did we cover all of our questions?
We did. And the moral of the story, which is don't integrate evidence of your crime into your art.
Oh,
man.
I got some rewriting to do.
I was going to say, people are going to be reading your novels a little bit more closely.
I guess.
We've been ending with a recommendation.
Yes. So...
something to get you through the doldrums of winter. Now that the Christmas Classics Revisited is done, thank goodness.
Yes.
We'll go back to the recommendations.
People like Christmas Classics Revisited.
I'm glad they did. I'm glad it's over.
We're going to revisit that next year.
If you say so.
I think so.
Okay.
So what are your recommendations? I have two, a practical one and an impractical one.
Okay, give me one of yours.
Okay, one of mine is always going to be, this is the time of year in which you plan your year. So take a little bit of time and plan out your year.
Plans are written in pencil.
Yep, plans are written in pencil.
It's not set in stone.
But if you list the work, then you can work the list.
That's work. What if you just want to plan?
Vacations, all sorts of things.
Set some goals to have some fun.
Yes.
He's always so serious with his to-do lists.
No.
People, you don't know how organized this man is. It's kind of crazy. He doesn't inflict it on me. Our house is a mess. My recommendation, and I only have one, is to teach yourself something new just for fun.
Oh, I think that's great.
Just choose something you don't know how to do.
Yep.
And figure out how to do it. Make mistakes. Screw it up. It's okay. I have spent the last 2 weeks that because we've been off work now for 2 weeks for vacation for the holiday.
Yep.
Teaching myself to make kaga yubanuki, which is a kind of Japanese thimble ring that has cord on the outside of it that is kind of woven around it. I didn't know anything about it. I thought they were beautiful. I think thimbles are useful because I do some hand quilting every once in a while. And I already had all the materials to do it. It just takes some cardboard, fabric, and some kind of thread.
We have lots of those things.
And boy, did I make a dozen or so that were completely wrong and screwed up. But I figured it out, and I have now successfully made a couple, and I feel quite accomplished.
We had at least a good half-hour discussion where I kept saying to Sarah, but 7 is 8.
They have to be very mathematically precisely divided to make the pattern repeat correctly around the circumference of the ring.
Yes.
And I continually screwed it up.
It's hard to do.
I eventually figured it out.
Yes. The other recommendation I have is the hottest piece of media right now that everyone on my Instagram is talking about. So I thought I should probably mention it because people have asked me about it, which is Heated Rivalry. We watched the first episode of this.
You did. I was in and out of the room.
Yes.
I think I was cooking or something.
I got to prepare you folks. It does have the gay sex.
A lot, if the first episode is any indication.
It is a romance show about 2 men who play hockey. So different people have mentioned this as me.
It has some humor in it too, though, doesn't it?
I think it's fun. One of the latest things that I've enjoyed watching on Instagram is these younger people say, I'm going to show this to grandma. Grandma loves the show and makes the kids uncomfortable.
I've seen a lot of clips of like hockey fans in bars watching it together and cheering when the hockey players kiss on the ice and
and it's
stop hiding their affection for each other.
It's a great publishing story as well. So if you're looking,
so it's Heated Rivalry. You probably heard all about it.
It's on HBO.
All right. Is that it?
So the newsletter comes out later this week on the 7th of January. So pick that up and make sure you're on the newsletter list.
Next week, season 25, episode 2, Lawn of the Dead.
Which will be released the 12th of January. Lawn of the Dead.
It's a fun one.
Yep.
Oh, that murder. Whoa.
Woo.
In the nose.
Yep.
Whoa. Whoa.
Hey now.
Go watch it. All right. Bye, Maniacs.
Bye, Maniacs. Thanks for joining us on the Mystery Maniacs podcast. If you enjoyed our crazy podcast today, don't miss out on future episodes. Follow us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and exclusive sneak peeks. Subscribe, like, and share to spread the word. Bye, Maniacs. Midsomer Maniacs is a comedy recap podcast dedicated to Midsomer movies. Dedicated.
Why don't you start over?